Hello, European Confessions. So we are back with more messages. This message that I want to share with you, it is a translation of a message that I received. The message reads like this. How are you, my brother Nashi? Please post for me as hidden identity. The kitchen utensils that our mother used to use whilst she was alive were burnt in a house fire the day her corpse was brought into that house to be buried the next day. Brother Nashi, there is an incident that happened in our household after my mother's death. I'll explain from the beginning until how my mother eventually died. Our mother was not a simple person, so when she got married in the village where I was born, no one could stand or accuse her. My mother was a second wife to my father. It is said that our father was married to our mother's aunt, and our mother was then taken by her aunt so that she can take care of her. Then our mother fell in love with our father until our father divorced our mother's aunt. Our mother then stayed in the village with us. So we were born in this family, me and my 4 sisters, but none of them ever got married. The problem was that when my sisters were on their periods, then they never stopped bleeding. This bothered them for many years, but to our surprise, this did not even bother our mother. I was then called by my sisters and they were crying, saying that for how long are we going to live like this? We keep on bleeding, but our mother is not even bothered about this. I was deeply hurt, so I started going around to prophets with my sisters, trying to find a solution to their problems. We went around until we finally got help from one prophet who did this thing that is called back to sender, but they didn't tell us clearly who it was who was causing all of these misfortunes. So me and my sisters, we returned back to our homes and we all live in the city, but within a few days we were called back home and we were told that our mother had just collapsed. Then she started bleeding. I mean that our mother, as old as she was now going on her periods. When I saw that that was what had happened, then I took my mother from the rural areas, then I brought her here in Harare, and when I took her to the doctors said that they were going to have her uterus removed, but it bothered me. What bothered me was that why is it like the problem had switched? First it was my sisters who were bleeding non-stop, but now it was my mother who was bleeding continuously. We went back to that prophet, then a prayer was offered, and the only way my mother could be saved was that she was supposed to confess everything that she had done, but my mother refused to confess until she died. So after her death, weird things started happening. It was so difficult for us to get her body from the mortuary. When we will go to the mortuary saying that we want to collect our mother's dead body, we were always told to come back tomorrow, until eventually she spent a week at the mortuary. After that, we took her. Then the car that was carrying her body was always having a breakdown. We left the mortuary at around 4 p.m. and arrived home the following day. It was 6 p.m. because this car kept on having breakdowns. After we finally arrived in the rural areas, we then placed her body in the house, and later on we heard that the women who were busy cooking, they were screaming and they were running away, saying that all the kitchen utensils that my mother used to use whilst she was alive had just caught fire and started burning. All those metal plates and all those metal cups got burned to ashes, which surprised everyone. We then buried my mother, but on that very same day that we buried my mother, the ghost of my mother appeared in the yard. From that day to this day, we have no peace. Every now and then my mother comes and she say, "Why did you kill me? We have suffered, brothers and sisters. We truly need help." So guys, that was a message that was translated into English so that I can share that message with you guys. I'll be back with more messages. We are busy translating other messages that I have shared on our other platforms.